Jerkman, it's kind of funny that a lot of coaches will say, well, every team's going to lay a stinker out there. It's going to happen a few times a season. I got to say, the Sharks, you have to recognize the fact that it's kind of cool that they decided to do it all at the beginning of the season. I like it.
See, I thought you were going to say that the Sharks were the opposite, where David Quinn is going to go to the assembled media and say, every now and again, the team's going to play well and we're going to get a win, and it's just kind of hard to forecast that. That's what I thought you were going to say.
No. Hey, let's rewind shit to just a week ago. Let's hear it.
I'll get a little spicy with you. Let's call it right here. Sharks, and you're going to bust your ass laughing.
No,
Sharks are going to go 3-1 this week.
Sharks are going to go 3-1 this week.
See, in very AJ Trump fashion here, you've left out the part where I said I'm probably going to be wrong,
fly?
and if you left out the part where I said I'm probably going to be wrong, and if I am, then everybody can call me a fraud.
There you go. So I guess we can call you a fraud then.
Yeah. Dude, the Sharks this week made me and the law of averages out to be a fraud.
So on your Twitter, you said it. Fraud!
Yeah, because, just regardless of what this team is, right?
Which ain't much.
Right. But based on the law of averages, based on Occam's razor, did you not think that it was extremely likely the Sharks would win this week?
They'd get at least one.
Right.
But
now,
no.
It was a bit gritty for me to say that they were going to go 3-1, but as I've said all along, nothing is impossible until it doesn't happen.
So much fun. Welcome back to another episode of the Pucknologists, your only completely live, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored, commercial-free San Jose Sharks podcast. The often imitated, never duplicated weekly wrap of the Sharks hockey being played here in San Jose, part of Teal Town, USA. Remember, you can help us remain commercial-free. Nobody wants to hear us, crowbar in any type of an ad read, despite Pinto's gambling penchant. We don't want to do that. But you want to keep us commercial free, you can use that super chat option during the live shows. Preferably donate using Venmo. You can find us at Teal Town, USA. But remember, Shane Pinto, if you're listening, use that preferred betting app. That'll help us out. Right now, the line is currently at 110 minutes for this show. If this is the first time you're checking out the cast, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave your take in the comments section. If you're not with us in the live chat, and if you're audio only, tap that live subscribe button. Everything's going, yeah. But if you're down for the 24/7 talk, when it comes to hockey, Sharks, and God, there's so much going on there. Hit up Jerkman for the invitation on the Tweety at hockey_jerk, because the talk literally never stops there. Am I right, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. And never is a buzzword that people like to use now and again, but in the Discord, it literally never stops. And
even if you wanted to, it just don't. It don't.
Yeah. Personally, there will be times where I'll wake up in the morning and I'll check, and I'm like, God damn, they were up at 3 a.m.
Guilty.
But at the same time, I kind of look at it with 2 feet, right? Where it's like, on one hand, who in their right mind would stay up that late, just dicking around on the internet? But then I look at it from the other side of things, where it's like, hey, these people are having fun in a space that's been curated by us, and I think that's cool. So
it's all good.
You know, it kind of goes both ways.
Hell yeah. So, statistically at this point, I mean, so far, worst Sharks team ever?
Dude, that was true a week ago. Like,
No, it actually wasn't. Because there was opportunity to do better. But if memory serves, 93-94 team opened up at 0-8-1, which is like where we're at now. That team went to the playoffs, shocked the world against Detroit. Do I think this team is going to make it to the playoffs, shock the world? No.
Well, why not? Clearly, you haven't been watching enough pre- and post-game live.
Oh, is that what it is?
You know, that's what I heard.
Dude, right now they're on pace to get 11 points.
Good.
Right now, I think the goal differential is like -26.
Got them right where we want them.
Dude, but if you're glass half full, dude, the lottery odds have never been better in the Sharks' favor.
Yeah.
And the really funny thing, of course, is following the Florida game towards the beginning of the week is Shang, our buddy Shang goes, by and large, they're not playing good hockey, and I mean, duh, which I find funny because it seemed like every time a media head was asked, it was always like, oh, well, this last period of hockey, that was the best hockey they've played so far. And then they got shut out twice. All right, so 0 for 4 this week, bro. I mean, where to start? Where to fucking start? Did Blackwood do 3 and 4 this week?
He he had the game against Florida. He started the game against Tampa. And then obviously tonight's game against the Capitals. So yeah, 3 of 4.
I just remember Blackwood getting yanked out of mercy versus Tampa. It's just it's horrific. Let's just start with Florida really, really quick, because the whole thing is Bordeleau goes back in on that game after being scratched versus Nashville. Right? And then the next game Bordelow's in, then Bordeleau gets scratched again, and then he got sent down today. He's like one of the few guys that has more than 1 point, for fuck's sake. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on that one, because on the one hand, like I said last week, I do believe Bordeleau should be in the NHL playing regularly to kind of work out what's going on with him. At the same time, though, like a player that young who's still kind of trying to earn their stride and that kind of stuff, like I don't hate the idea of him being in the AHL. The only thing that I guess would give me pause, and Ian and Kevin could speak to this much more than we could, but with how much like just turmoil and nonsense it appears to be going on with the Barracuda behind the scenes, I don't know that I even want Bordeleau down there.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you. So you have the situation with Bordeleau where it's like healthy scratch, and then he comes back, healthy scratch, and now sent down earlier today. The other one I wanted to talk about for a hot minute was Vlasic being healthy scratch for 2 games in a row for the first time in his career.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, it's, a lot of people are pointing out the fact that, this is the first time that, really since the Sharks have kind of been in this tumultuous era, we'll call it, this is kind of the first time that Vlasic has really been singled out, as kind of being an issue beyond
and I kind of feel like it was a long time coming, to be honest.
Right, but the thing that I would say to that I think probably speaks to why Vlasic is kind of finally getting the hook is, and maybe you disagree, but I feel like this Sharks team, since this tumultuous era has started, this Sharks team is the first to have like a good handful of guys who could be the future on the blue line. I mean, whatever your thoughts are on Ferraro, he's going to be here for a while. Same with Matt,
and I don't have a problem with Ferraro being here for a while as long as he's deployed correctly. He is not a number 1.
Right. And I think like you look at Ferraro, he kind of fits that gonna be here a while bill. Same as Matt Benning. You know, Nikolai Knizhov is somebody that they want to be part of the future solution. Kyle Burrows is going to be here for a while. Then you have guys like Aquatuk, Emberson, who was picked up off waivers. You know, and then with the Barracuda, obviously, and down elsewhere within the Sharks pipeline, you know, Thrun, Muka Madulin, Pooley, Larocque, Gavanka, Cicek, right? Like maybe these guys never play an NHL game with the Sharks, but it seems like the Sharks kind of on the defensive side of things, Thrun, I don't know if I said him or not, they're kind of moving. It almost feels like they're moving on a little bit, where it's like, yeah, maybe we have a lot of guys and we don't really know what's going to happen with them, but at least we've got a lot of guys who've got potential. Whereas in years past, it was like, okay, Burns, Carlson, Vlasic, Ferraro, and whoever's left. And then it was like, you know, Carlson, Vlasic, Ferraro, and we'll pick guys randomly. And then it was Vlasic and Ferraro, and it's like, ooh, we're really going to pick guys randomly. And so it feels like there's, you know, maybe none of them end up hitting, but there's options for the first time in a while, I think.
Well, dude, and like Taco Cruz said, when was the last time Vlasic was a good player? I mean, it's been a while.
He was good last year. I mean,
he did.
It's all relative, because if you look at it with the scope of his contract, yeah, it's been
a hot minute.
5 or 6 years. Like even the season the Sharks last made the playoffs, he wasn't all that good for most of it. But if you kind of like,
well, he didn't have to be with Burns and Carlson out there.
Sure. But like if you're going to compare it within the scope of his contract, then yeah, I think you're going to have a hard time finding the last time he was good. But if you just kind of look at it in a bubble, like as a player, like I thought he was good last year, you know, like take the contract out of it. I thought he was a guy I would want on my team.
He had a little bit of a resurgence last season. I will totally give him that. But man, dude, I hate to say it. I mean, it just feels like 9 games, dude. It feels like half of them he's about mailing him in, and he was scratched for 2 of them. So,
yeah, maybe.
Oh man, and that Florida game. Let's just talk about the Florida game for a hot second. For anybody who watched it, 2 things. First off, I don't know whoever is counting the shots on goal. Go back and look at the Twitter feed. That guy was smoking or drinking some heavy shit, dude. The shots on goal went from 7 to 6. Like literally, it said 7 on the shot counter. And then Leabank shot his shot. It was turned away by the goalie. All of a sudden, it went to 6. Then a little bit later, went from 13 to 11. A little bit later, then 12 to 11. I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? I don't have an idea. And the other thing is, I didn't even understand where those shots were coming from, because it felt like the Sharks were defending 90% of that game. It was, it was ridiculous. But and then of course the Sharks score 1 goal in a game for the 5th time of 6 games, and that wasn't even 5-on-5. But there you go. Then they get shut out back-to-back games in Tampa and Carolina, and following the Tampa game, you have Mario lighten it up a little bit in the post game, saying, we have to be a better teammate. We need to trust each other. Why is trust such an issue? I mean, these guys, they took a trip to Napa before the season started. We've been hearing about culture now for like the last year and a half. Jerkman, why is trust and culture such a problem right now?
Oh, man, I mean, I don't even like it's such a hard kind of bomb to defuse, you know what I mean? Because
dude, throw yourself on top of it.
And the thing is, like, I don't like to, this obviously, I don't like to give a lot of stock into who wears letters and who is the quote unquote leaders. I think everybody can be a leader in the right situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that maybe guys who aren't natural leaders are kind of being maybe shoved into that role. And that's such a subjective thing, right? Because, you could poll 100 people and there would be 100 different answers about what a leader is. But, I kind of feel like, with Ferraro specifically, there's a lot left to be desired there about his level of play. And I don't know that I want a young defenseman to be like, hey, if you're looking for somebody for some pointers, like that's the guy to look at. I don't know that that's what I would want to do. And with Tomas Hertl, like I love Hertl. Like he's one of my top 3 favorite players.
Oh, he's a man.
Since, Joe Pavelski left the team.
Who?
Right. He's been one of my favorite guys to watch. And I feel like the Sharks, like being just absolutely terrible, I think is, and I'm just speculating, but it appears to be weighing on him quite a bit. And, it seems like there's been less, kind of excitement and more frustration lately, which I totally understand. But, when your best player is getting frustrated, it's not conducive to a good environment. And that's not to say that like Hertl hates everybody and doesn't socialize. That's not what I'm trying to say. But, I just, I don't know. I feel like if like, to be totally blunt, I feel like a majority of this team sucks. Yeah. And so the handful of guys who are actually really good at hockey feel like they have to do everything. And when eventually inevitably something wrong is going to happen, even for the best player, even for Connor McDavid, inevitably something wrong will happen. And, it kind of jams everything up because the Sharks only have 3 guys who are even doing anything, even now more than ever. Like when we talked about it when Erik Karlsson was traded, like I was very bullish on this team to score a lot of goals just because of the personnel they had. I was very clear that they were going to allow a lot of goals, but I also thought they would score a lot of goals. And the exact opposite has happened. Like if you ask me, the only person on this team who I don't think deserves like criticism is Fabian Zetterlund. That's one guy.
Yeah.
That said, there are other guys who, again, like
I would say the goalies as well.
The goalies, sure, totally fair, but like you got to score goals to win, right? And like
many people are saying,
right, and like I like what I've seen from William Eklund, but you need more. I like what I've seen from Anthony Duclair, but you need more. Same with Zadina, right?
Well, we're gonna get into those guys.
Right, but I'm just saying it's like it feels like a team of individuals.
Which again, I go back to a couple seasons ago where that's what a lot of people were talking about, and we heard it come out in the exit interviews where it felt like, this is not a team, this is co-workers.
Well, and I'll pose this question to you off the top of your head if you know, and if you don't know, I'll give you the answer. All right. Since the Sharks last made the playoffs in 2019, do you know how many players are still on the team?
From that time?
From 2018-2019, the last playoff season.
From that season. I'm going to say 3?
You would be correct.
All right.
Hertl, Vlasic. I'm sorry, 4. Hertl, Vlasic, Couture, and Leabank.
Well, to be fair, Leabank was almost waived. We're not sure.
The point being, and again, this is just speculation, but does it not, just everything that's gone on the last 2 years, does it not make you wonder, like, hey, maybe for this thing to get turned around, maybe everybody from the old guard needs to be gone?
But who's going to eat those contracts from Vlasic, Couture, and Hertl? Nobody.
Well, I mean,
Hertl
and Couture, I think, have value if you can do things the right way.
But I was going to say the Sharks are going to have to eat money on those.
But if they do, like, who cares?
Sure. Especially if you get Celebrini the way that things are going. I mean, dude, that's the whole thing. It's like everything sucks now. We're going to get into that in a little bit because I definitely have some things to say about some of the fucking people on Sharks social media, to be fair. But Yeah, everything sucks right now. But let's fast forward this shit 3-4 seasons. It's like, and you've got Will Smith and Musty, along with hopefully Celebrini, and then you've got Eklund, who, I mean, come on, there was a couple times this week he just went full beast mode.
Oh, totally. And spoiler alert, Eklund, I think, was the best Shark this week.
Oh, absolutely. But Eklund, Bordeleau, despite, being sent down earlier today, but Bordeleau will find his game. Henry Thrun. I mean, there are pieces there. But
it's a project for sure.
Absolutely. No, this is a puzzle.
It's concerning to me, again, just as an outsider who's looking at the information in front of them and then kind of making an inference, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's concerning to me when the people who are remaining from the old guard, and I would even include players who are left over from those first 2 seasons of not making the playoffs, just because I feel like it was still, like, the goal was still, hey, yeah, we're going to try and make it, right? Which expands that list to Ferraro and Capo Kakinen and Barabanov, like those guys, like the guys who are supposed to be sort of the benchmark or the inspiration, if you will, are not doing it. I mean, the thing is, like, and we've said it all along, like, Tomas Hertl is a good player. Logan Couture is a good player. These are good players, and it seems like since the Sharks have been terrible, the production has taken a dip, which is to be expected, but I don't think at the level that it has. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, dude, if you're Jan Ruda, dude, how pissed off are you right now?
Yeah.
Like, man, bitch, I won cups. What?
I mean, don't get me, and Mikey J makes the good point as well, but like, trade, as much as I love Hertl and I'm happy that he re-signed, I feel like trading him was the play.
It was the play. Dude, we talked about that. It was totally the play. But the thing is, a lot of people, and okay, I'm just, tell me right now, Jerk. Tell me to say it.
Say it, baby. Just say it.
Some of the people on the Sharks social media platforms, and I'm looking at you, Sharks Facebook fan page. Oh my God, dude. You're hanging out Greer for keeping Hertl. He wasn't even fucking here when Hertl was given his contract. Like,
yeah, Joe Will signed that deal.
Yeah, it's like, if you're gonna complain, like, know your fucking facts, dude. Like, dude, I'm just telling you, man. Sometimes I look at that Sharks fan Facebook page, and I'm like, oh, dude.
I think I
want to like fucking firebomb that thing, but I hate waiting in line.
Like, I think that if where we expect the Sharks to be next year, let's just say, if that's where the Sharks were when they re-signed Hertl, I think it would make a lot more sense.
Absolutely.
Right? Because you go back to that time, which would have been February, March of 2022, Hertl re-signs, and the natural thought, I think, is, okay, this guy just signed 8 years. Like, that means that by the end of that thing, hopefully the Sharks are going to be back in contention.
You would
and
think.
The way things have gone this year, I feel like the timeline that I was kind of thinking of over the summer is now thrown into whack, right? Because we had the conversation of like, okay, yeah, maybe the Erik Karlsson deal doesn't look sexy right now, but the Sharks are sitting on so many the Sharks are sitting on so many players that they can flip, and they're going to accumulate all these assets, and they're going to be able to move forward. Where now it's like, you look at Mike Hoffman has 1 assist in 9 games. I don't know what his trade value is now. Duclair, I love Duclair, and I thought he's played really well.
See, hold on. We're going to get into the Reclamation project in a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is like I feel like, and again, I know people are bringing up in the chat that like this team is shit and like this is what everybody expected, but that's not the point. Like the Sharks could go 0-82, but if there was a foundation being put in place, I could live with it.
Yeah.
But
and if they went
feels
0-82, somehow they still wouldn't get the number one pick in the lottery.
right, but the way these 9 games are going, it feels like it feels like at the start of the season there was a foundation, and then at some point over these 9 games, like somebody took an axe to it. You know what I mean?
It's
like, dude, 0-8-1, like the worst team. Dude, let me give you some knowledge here. The worst team in the salary cap era had a win before their 9th game of the season.
Yeah. So
what does that tell you?
Dude, I'm not surprised. I mean,
I'm not either.
Dude, you give a hat, or the Sharks gave a hat trick to Teravainen. You know,
well,
a natural, and that third goal, dude, that third goal, he like made a sandwich before he potted the last one.
Well, yeah, dude, Teravainen's a good player, and the Sharks are terrible.
Yeah, and I'm just like consistently outshot every single game. Earlier today against the Capitals, once again for the 4th time in 9 games this season, the Sharks had a lead, could not hold it.
Right.
And you know, it's just, you know, there's a part of me that sits there and goes, you know, when you look at those leads where it's like, fuck, man, you had the goddamn lead. Why can't you hold this? What the fuck is going on? But then there's the other part of me that goes, no, man, piss it away. I want Celebrini. Like I'm ready. I am here for the rebuild. And so when the Sharks lose, I'm not losing my fucking mind like some of the people on the Sharks fan Facebook pages and social media. Oh my God, I can't believe that. Fuck, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? Did you not look at the Vegas odds makers and the Athletic and ESPN? Like literally everybody, including us, was saying the Sharks were going to be really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, after 9 games, were they going to be this bad? Well, I mean, according to you, no.
Well, because what did we, the first show of the season? What did we say? We said.
Well, hold on. What do you when you say we, dude? I was saying putting the O in October. I was
I know
very much like they weren't going to win in October.
I know, but I don't believe for a second that you meant that seriously. I think you were trying to be funny.
No, dude. I was like, this team is going to put the O in October. Like, I thought maybe they would go to overtime a couple times, but looking at the schedule, I'm like, no, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, I can't see a way that this team is going to pull out a actual win that doesn't go to overtime. And,
fair.
You know, that's, but go ahead.
But here's the thing. We said this, I think we said this 2 years ago. I think we said it last year. We definitely said it this year. At least I did. We know the Sharks are going to lose a lot of games, probably well over half of their games.
Well,
but the only thing that we ask is be exciting and show us that there is something to look forward to down the road.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me say, though, that game against Carolina, there was a couple of shifts that Eklund had where you kind of sat there and went, oh, all right, looking forward to seeing more of that when he actually is, I don't know, put out there with more talent with like Hurdle, somebody else that can like feed him.
Oh, no, 100%. I'm with you on that. But here's the thing, right? We, you know, at least it appeared to me as though the foundation was kind of being laid in place, right? And it was like, okay, Sharks are going to be terrible this year. They're probably going to be terrible next year, but we're moving in the right direction. You know, we're moving forward and things are going to eventually be okay. But now look where we are 9 games in. William Eklund, I think William Eklund has been the best Shark this year, but scoring chances eventually need to become goals. Thomas Bordeleau's in the AHL. Henry Thrun is in the AHL. The players that we were hoping going to pop off that could be traded for draft picks to help the build down the road are not playing very well. It feels like the journey that the journey that the Sharks started at the end of last season. I don't want to say that they've turned around and run the other direction, but it feels like they've stopped moving. Whereas
Yeah.
I feel like coming into this season, yeah, they were going to be terrible, and yeah, they were a long way from being good, but they were moving forward. And
Absolutely.
I feel like right now, they've stopped.
Yeah, and I will throw this out to Mikey J in the chat. AJ is like Nostradamus. No, I'm Nostradamus.
I was going to say, if AJ's Nostradamus, then what's the one above that? Because that's me.
So the Sharks had the opportunity to pull any of 8 points, not able to pull it off this week, despite Jerk calling they would go 3-1, which to me was a choice.
Is it okay? But let me ask you this: is it calling, or is it?
Do you need me to play the fucking tape again?
Is it musing? Is it is it goofing?
Well, I mean, just Jesus.
Denver Doyle making a good point too about Eklund. Like,
what?
I think it is like, can we officially confirm that Cunnin sucks?
Oh, the guy that you said would get the guy you lost $5 on? Hey,
again,
no, it's a yes or no question.
Yes, that is, but again, like, see, this is the thing. I might lose 50% of my bets, but I will never make a stupid bet.
All I know is it's the one that Jules said I was going to lose, and no, in fact, I did not.
Right, but here's the thing.
How is Eklund not playing with Hurdle on the regular? That's what I don't get.
I think it goes back to the point I was making a couple minutes ago, where the pieces who are probably going to be traded at the trade deadline, like, you need to shine them up and make them look as sexy as you can.
Yeah, and it's not working so far. Let me ask you this then.
I don't need the Sharks to win and make the playoffs this year. I just need them to show that they're moving in the right direction.
And that's not happening.
I think that's fair.
Let me ask you a question.
Ask it.
Is Zadina the new Bodker? I mean, the guy at the start of the season projected to be top 6, potentially top line, now on the 4th line. And that's with Couture, Barabanov, and Granlund out. And the only time his TOI spikes whatsoever is when the Sharks get extra power play time. Like, he seems like the next Bodker.
See, you say that, and I'm going to
do I have a good point, though? I mean, based on what we say, you can sit there and say small sample size, but
I don't.
Again, this is a case of, this is a guy who was written on a cocktail napkin, top 6. He's, aside from the power play, he's not getting the top line minutes because it's not working.
Here's the thing, though.
Oh, whip it out.
Is you're gonna see, like, there are certain things that, like, you kind of have to look at it from multiple angles. Like, you have to look at it, just generally speaking, you have to look at it within the context of, the team that he's on. Like, if you take Cunnin, or I'm sorry, not Cunnin, you take Zadina.
You're stuck on Cunnin, dude.
You drop Zadina on another team with the same stat line. Yeah, it's going to be like, oh my God, why is this guy playing? Right? But think about the Sharks. The Sharks as a unit are historically terrible. Every player is going through some kind of slump, cold streak, bullshit, whatever you want to call it.
You are taking the longest time to answer that question.
No, I know, but I'm making your point. I'm explaining to America here why you're wrong. Okay. Philip Zadina, believe it or not, leads the Sharks in goals.
I don't figure that out.
So if you look at it just as a player, yeah, Zadina absolutely needs to step up and do more. But if you look at it considering all the circumstances of the team, I thought Zadina's been really good. And if this was a normal hockey team, I think, like, if this was a normal hockey team doing normal hockey team things, I think Zadina's stat line and his influence on the games, I think, would rise at a commensurate rate.
I 9 games, I think Zadina's had 3 decent ones.
Okay, but you know, what about your buddy? You know, what about your buddy Tomas Hertl? He's got 1 goal. What's the story there?
Dude, but leads the
Does
team.
he suck?
Leads the team in points though at 5.
That's nice. That's nice. It's just whatever. The Tomas Hertl, who's a 30 goal scorer, he's got 1 goal in 9 games. Does he suck now?
Zadina also, dude. Zadina also leads the team, and I know, I don't want to dive into the goddamn.
Say it,
dude. -9.
I know.
Worst dash on the team. So that's why I asked the point. Whereas I'm like, is he the new Bodker in the idea of brought in? This is going to be a guy who comes in to re-energize his career. He's going to be penciled in that top 6. He's going to be a scorer. He's going to, and again, to your point, not to say that that there haven't been opportunities for him to not put, the biscuit in the basket. It's just.
But see, this is the problem,
when he's getting dropped down to the 4th line, I go, fuck.
Well, and I put this solely at the feet of Mike Grier and David Quinn. The Sharks are prioritizing maximizing the value of trade deadline potential players, as opposed to putting their players of the future in a prime position. If you ask me, obviously Hertl is going to be the number 1 center, but like Bordeleau, Zetterlund, Zadina, Eklund, those are the guys. Duclair, because obviously there's a chance he might resign here. Those are the guys who should be in the top 6 and should be humming. Mike Hoffman, you need to say, hey, you know what? Like guys like Hoffman, and they're doing this with Leabank, which I think is fair. But guys like Hoffman, guys like Leabank, they need to say, look, you are not part of our future plans. You need to make do with what we're going to give you, and hopefully we can trade you to a good team down the road. Like, I hate how guys who are going to be here for the long term and part of the future solution are not being prioritized over guys who we want to maximize their value to get a better asset. I'm all for maximizing value, but not at the expense of hurting future players.
I feel that. But I just, man, it's so far the reclamation projects have left me wanting. That's
sure, but
that's that's what I can say.
Given where this team is at, though, is that fair to say?
You would hope at least one of them would hit. It's that whole thing. It's like, it's like if you play red, black, and green on the craps table, one of them's going to hit.
Sure.
On Wednesday morning this past week, Shane broke the news that Barabanov is going to miss what so far appears to be a decent amount of time with a broken finger. So the Sharks without 2 of their top 6 in the center position for extended time, but they did get Granlund back today. And I will be the first to say Granlund's going to need a game or 2 minimum to get back into pace.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is, are we beyond call-ups? Are we looking at Grier to actually made a trade to just appease the pissed off fan base? Or is it just kind of no, we're ride or die. This is what we have. We're going to weaponize our cap. This is all part of the plan. Or do you think the Sharks, do they pull that deal? And we'll get to Joe Thornton's retirement here in a little bit, but do we see the Sharks? Does Grier pull the trigger on a huge trade a la 2005, end of November, where they pull in a big name and say, we need to turn this shit around? Because I'm going to say no for 2 reasons. First off, this isn't 2005. And this is not a team that is one player away from doing something.
I think it depends on what the situation is, like who would go out the door and who would come back. Because if you recall, maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Who gives a shit who leaves at
No,
this point?
no, 100%.
I mean, if it's not Hurdle or Couture, who gives a fuck?
No, and I don't give a fuck either. But here's my point. The Buffalo Sabres in 2000, that would have been 2013. In 2013, the Buffalo Sabres traded away Thomas Vanek a month into the season because they said, "Hey, we're going to get something really good for Thomas Vanek here. Who cares if it's a month into the season? Not even a month into the season." So, if somebody comes to Greer and says, "Hey, buddy, you want to do Luke Cunnin for Luke Cunnin archetype?" No, I'm good. No thanks, pal. But if somebody comes and says, "Hey, you know what? I know it's only, October 29th, but we're a good team. We kind of want to juice things here. Like, what are your thoughts on Hoffman?" Yeah, sure. Give us something nice and we'll make it happen. So I think it depends on what comes back.
Absolutely. But can you hit up Max in the chat? Because I think you're going to have something to say. He says, "What cap? They don't have cap to weaponize." I would disagree.
Okay, this is a numbers podcast, so I'm just going to give you the numbers.
And dude, nobody loves numbers. What do you got their numbers? Nobody loves numbers more than you.
The Sharks have $4.2 million in cap space while carrying 14 forwards and 9 defensemen.
There are moves to be made.
And 2 buyouts and 2 retained cap situations. So with some very basic roster finagling, that 4.2 is going to be much, much higher. Not only that, but as we all know, cap space accrues for every day that you have cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So at this rate, by the trade deadline, the Sharks are going to have $17 million in cap space. And that's if they don't get down to a more conventional 13 forward, 7 defenseman kind of situation.
Yeah.
Also worth mentioning, Radim Šimić and Oscar Lindblom are both buried in the AHL. So you have all these albatrosses and inflated rosters, and you still have enough cap space to take on an overpaid winger. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Come on, son.
Well, the other thing that, of course, has been worrisome with this past week, and basically since the beginning of the season, the Sharks are having difficulty scoring, of course, but then it's also, I don't have today's numbers because, again, it was a today game. It takes me a little longer to put shit together, but after 8 games, Sharks have scored 8 goals.
Nice.
In 8 games. 5 of them coming even strength, 3 of them on the power play, and of course 2 of those coming against Carolina, who are letting in goals like a sieve. The thing is, though, they can outscore their issues as they did against the Sharks, whereas Carolina was the only team to allow the Sharks to score more than 1 goal, but then they hung 6 around their neck. And then the thing that really kind of kicks you in the nuts, through the first 8 games, how many goals for the Sharks have come in the first or last 3 minutes of a period? 13 of 31, nearly half. And the thing that gets me, this is not something new. This is something we talked about last season. Whereas the first 2 minutes or the last 2 minutes of a period, they can't close shit out. And the thing that it just kind of rubs me the wrong way is kind of like, that this is your deficit. This is what you are being completely raked against the coals on from last season. It hasn't changed. And there's all this talk about we don't trust each other. Over the last couple of years, it's the we don't trust each other, culture, this, that, the other thing. I just sit there and I go, fuck, man. You're going to get, obviously, new players come in, Musty and Bysted, whatever the fuck you want to call him, and hopefully Celebrini. How do you change this culture if guys aren't trusting each other and they're making the same mistakes year over year?
You get rid of the old guard who still remembers the good times when the Sharks made the playoffs every year.
And who is that?
Hurdle, Couture, Vlasic, Leabank.
God, and the fact that Leabank is considered the old guard, you know what I mean?
Dude, his first 3 seasons in the NHL, the Sharks made the playoffs every year.
I know.
I'm not going to say what he did in a specific playoff game. I don't want to go there, but you know what I mean, like, because here's the thing, and this is kind of a weird way to approach it, but if you're familiar with the Avengers movies, one of the things that Thanos says in his motivation of, global genocide is, I want a universe that instead of remembering what was, thinks about what can be.
Mm-hmm.
And the old guard, they remember what was. But guys like Eklund and Bordeleau and Thrun and Knizhov and Zadina and Zetterlund, all of these guys, they are thinking about what can be.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And let me hit up Morocco 323 in the chat right now.
Rocco!
Says, don't get me wrong, Celebrini is insane and I'd love the Sharks to have him, but Bedard is generational, Celebrini isn't. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, you just want good players.
Yeah, dude, you want good players. That's the whole thing. I'm more than fine, like 2-3 seasons from now, where like your top 6 is made up of Musty, Will Smith, Eklund, Bordeleau, Celebrini. Like I have no problems with that.
And let me.
And we're paying the price right now to get that. So I guess my point to the Sharks fans on social media, stop your fucking bitching.
Yes. Like, losses are fine as long as there's a plan, right?
Yes.
And the thing is, look at Tampa. Like, Tampa Bay has been, even though, okay, only 2 cups, but Tampa Bay has been a dynasty.
Only 2 cups.
Right. But, well, you'll understand the point I'm making. Tampa Bay has been a dynasty since 2015, right? Pitts, they were terrible for many years before that. Pittsburgh Penguins, same thing.
Yeah.
Washington Capitals, terrible for a long time. So this is just the way things go.
Have we all forgotten Chicago in the 2000s?
Dude, granted I was a kid, so obviously my memory is a little bit skewed.
Sure.
But I remember being a kid. And, as you get older, you kind of pick up on things, right? 11, 12, 13, 14 years old. And it's like, oh, we're playing Chicago. They suck. Right?
Oh, dude, it was playing Chicago. Here was the thing during the 2000s.
They couldn't even fill the building.
Well, for whatever reason, this is the best thing about playing Chicago. It seemed as if Chicago was always going to play the Sharks either the night before Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving. It was always there, and you could always bet on a win for the Sharks. So, they sucked back then. Brett, I love Teal Town. It makes losing less miserable. Ting ting. Brett, we love you, sir. So
you mentioned Celebrini, and I'm sure you know this, but for anybody who doesn't know this, just to kind of tickle their fancy a little bit.
Tickle their ass with a feather?
Do you happen to know off the top of your head?
Here we go.
Off the top of your head, do you happen to know where Macklin Celebrini played his youth hockey?
I want to say it happened as a member of the Junior Sharks.
You would be correct.
Hey now.
So
bring homie home.
So I feel like, you might see, it might be kind of a real, kind of feel good sort of story. And obviously, he was only with the Junior Sharks for a year and then he ended up transferring elsewhere, but it would be kind of like a, hey, come back to where you started kind of thing.
Hell yeah. Oh, dude, it was, you're going to tell me that the Sharks wouldn't like bend over backwards to sell that fucking,
Should have done it with Dustin Wolf, but whatever.
Yeah.
Dustin Wolf, who's from Gilroy, and his mom literally had season tickets to the Sharks. No, we can't take that guy.
All right. So to wrap it up, at least that part of it.
We almost done.
No, not even halfway. So Sharks again. The Sucktober, baby. Sharks Overfest, if you will. It could get worse before it gets better. And the funny thing is, a lot of people, and I think me and Jerk included, a few of our buddies were like, well, if they're going to win one, it's probably going to be against Washington. That's a good look. And if it wasn't against Washington, we were kind of like eyeballing Philly. Well, I don't know if you've looked at the standings lately. Philly is doing pretty fucking good.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, it could be a while. It could be until Thanksgiving. I don't know. It's going to be fun. But that being said, let's get into the heroes and zeros. Because, man, I have some things to say. And so I will give it to you first.
Okay.
Unless
and this is, I don't know, for you might have something to say. For me, this is going to be so easy. My hero of the week, and if you would be so inclined, my hero of the week is going to be a 2-pack. If you would be so inclined.
I have a 2-pack as well.
Okay.
Are we going 2-pack or 2-pack?
I'm going to pretend like you didn't say that. My heroes.
Wow. Okay, no Jada Pinkett Smith jokes. Okay, go ahead.
My heroes of the week are Fabian Zetterlund and William Eklund for being the only two players on the Sharks that actually care that seemingly, I want to put that qualifier out there, being the only two Sharks that seemingly care about giving fans something to look forward to as this journey continues.
I would agree with that.
That's all I have to say. That's literally all I have.
Okay, my hero. I have two as well, the 2-pack.
Okay.
2-pack, whatever. Kevin Leabank.
Okay.
Dude, coming in late, didn't have the best camp and everything like that. And
allegedly.
Yeah. And
my theory is that David Quinn just hates him, but go ahead.
Well, and we all know that he's been in the doghouse for 3 different coaches, but since he's been, given the go-ahead, tell me that you haven't seen Leabank play his best hockey over the last 4 or 5 games that he's been in.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely played with some jump. I will 100% give him his flowers on that one.
He's playing the 200-foot game, which we haven't ever seen from him.
That's a good point as well, and worth mentioning. And we'll see what ends up happening, right? But he's actually on pace to have his second best season in terms of shots on goal.
This is what I'm saying.
And I feel like that's something that we've been yearning for years, right?
Oh, absolutely. And Jesse pointing out the point that I always point out, Leabank's in a contract year, baby. It's amazing how you can turn it on.
All the more reason to hype him up and then gas him when you can.
Hell yeah. Dude.
Do it.
That's my whole thing. How long have I been saying that, dude? It's amazing how guys can turn it on, find that second, third, fourth gear when the contract is on the line. But I said it was a two-parter.
Okay.
My other hero, Henry Thrun.
Nice.
Why?
Why?
Why? The Chief hasn't played a game in the NHL in almost 2 weeks, and he was tied for third on the Sharks in points going into the game earlier today against Washington. He was first among defensemen going into the game earlier against Washington. And the really fucked up thing is, I'm bringing up stats. He's still up. He's tied.
Tied for third in the whole team, tied for first among defensemen.
That's what I'm saying. And he hasn't played in almost 2 fucking weeks in the NHL. Come on, man. All right. Who's your zero, man? Because I have a fucking laundry list for zero, to be honest.
Again, I said it was going to be a long one. Or I'm sorry. I said it was going to be a short one. My 0 is everybody that didn't get my hero nod. Because, again, we know, and I've said it 1,000,001 times on this podcast. I'm going to say it again. We know the Sharks are going to be terrible this year. That is a given. I've made peace with that, and it's all awesome. But give us some kind of indication that there's light at the end of the tunnel, that there's a foundation being laid, and we're getting ready to put the footings to the building next, and we're moving right along.
That's all we've ever hoped for.
And I feel like, I don't think we've gone in the wrong direction, but I feel like that journey has stopped. Where, yes, the Sharks, the goal is to bottom out, and I understand that. But the guys that we need to take steps forward are not taking steps forward.
We're going to get to that. Alex Hockey, though, coming in with a solid point. Honorable mention for the hero, Mackenzie Blackwood. Absolutely. Yeah, I would 100%. Totally agree.
100%.
For the 0, dude, we got your 0 out of the way, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have some things to say. The Reclamation projects. The names that we heard coming into this season. So Zadina coughing. I mean, how much money did he leave in Detroit to come to San Jose, right?
Yeah, it was couple million.
Right? It was a good amount of coin. But you got Zadina coming in. Duclair. Okay, Hoffman. You know, people can talk shit about Hoffman, but you look at the last, few teams that he has gone to, that the season that he went to, or the season of that team that he went to, they didn't make the playoffs the year before. All of a sudden, Hoffman's on the team. They made the playoffs. He's not a huge addition, but for whatever reason, Hoffman, for a few seasons there, equaled playoffs. And Hoffman hasn't been worked out. You can listen to him during the post, when he's requested to talk during the post game. He is fed up with himself. And over the course of this last week, dude, Ferraro and Eklund are ready to rip walls down. You can hear them, their frustration in the post game. They're fucking pissed off after the Carolina game. After losing yet again to those guys, they asked Eklund, what is it that you need to do to get out of this funk, to at least get things going in the positive direction? Eklund's win the game.
Yeah.
That was it. And there was no, we need to win the game. It wasn't this, fucking 2015 hurdle was, we just need to win the game. No, he was just we need to win the fucking game. That you can hear it in Ferraro and Eklund over these last couple interviews. They're fucking pissed. They're tired of fucking losing.
And let me ask you this question.
Yeah, man.
The players that you specifically pointed out, Eklund and Ferraro, do you think their frustration comes from, and again, just speculation.
Sure.
Do you think their frustration comes from feeling like some of the only guys who are giving it full effort?
I would agree with that.
Because whatever you want to say about Ferraro, I personally think Ferraro has not been good for 3 years. At least guy tries.
Yeah, you look at him out there. He's always willing. He's not that's the thing. He reminds me a little bit of a Mark Smith type player. I loves me some Mark Smith. Not the most athletically gifted, but you could never question his heart and his effort.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you on that. But yeah, so my 0 so far, it's Zadina, Duclair, Hoffman, these reclamation projects. It's one of those things where I get it. You're hoping that one of them will pay off. And right now, the way that they're playing, I'm eyeballing the trade deadline. I'm who the hell is going to give the Sharks anything for these guys? Good fucking luck. But again, I'm on the twofer. We're doing twofer this week. My other 0, it's anybody who's saying fire Quinn. I see a lot of this shit on social media, and I'm what the fuck are you talking about? And can we segue into that now? Because it's like, that's a topic that seems to have picked up a lot of steam over the last week. And I don't get it, because we glossed over it a little bit last week, simply because we thought it was nothing more than ignorant clickbait. But it's this whole, David Quinn, Spanish Archer. And it's like, why? Do you blame a chef for making you a bad meal if the restaurant manager is buying rotten groceries? And
Right.
what if half the groceries that the chef has to use are leftovers from the previous chef, i.e. Doug Wilson? So my whole thing, everybody, of course, you have your own opinion, but in my opinion, if you're on the Fire Quinn bandwagon, tell me why, because Scotty Bowman isn't winning with this fucking roster.
Well, and this is the thing, like, a lot of these people that you're referring to, they are so good at pointing out problems, but they're not good at solving problems.
Yeah.
Because you fired David Quinn.
Well, and they're good at pointing out easy, It's like,
Yeah, but
you saw that? So did I. Back to you, Randy.
Yeah, but okay, so you fired David Quinn.
Then what?
You hire somebody from the outside, or you promote Ryan Warsofsky, and then the Sharks are going to continue to lose.
Yeah. And so
what
did you
fire
accomplish?
David Quinn. The only time it makes sense to fire David Quinn is if this roster is fucking stacked. Like, pick your stacked Sharks
if
roster.
it's stacked and it's
sucks.
not performing.
Yeah, that's when you fire a coach. But when they're absolutely terrible, like, no. And the point I give is, look at Detroit, right? For Jeff Blashill was the coach in Detroit for years, and they were brutal all of those years. But it's like, we're not going to fire Jeff Blashill because what's the point? And then as soon as Detroit management felt like maybe the Red Wings could take a step this year, guess what? Sorry, dude, you're out. Thanks for steering the ship while we were gone.
Well, and I still go back to the whole idea of, like, look, if if you're somebody that's on the Sharks Facebook fan page,
I don't know why you still go on there without a hazmat suit.
Dude. If you're still on there and you're sitting there whining, bitching, complaining, about Quinn, he only has one more year left on his deal. But the other thing is, expand your mind just a scotch. Go from here to here. Go look at Cap Friendly. Where are all the contracts? The vast majority of the other contracts ending. They're all ending after next season. There is a fucking plan. Like, Quinn was probably hired to come in, try to right this ship. Let's get the culture back to where it needs to be. Let's get the trust. And so far, yes, Quinn, evidently, from some of the things we've heard from Ferraro, there's failures there. But there's still a massive lack of talent. Let's see after the end of the 24-25 season, when Quinn's contract is up, and like so many of these, this is Leabank's last season. This is Kakinen's last season. There's a decent amount of people, and
Hoffman.
Hoffman, and then the year following that, it's like, Benning, Burrows, Blackwood. It's like, go
Granlund,
look,
Sturm, Knyzhov,
and not to mention the fact that if I remember correctly, I think 24-25 is when Couture's no trade opens up from like 3 to like 10 teams.
You are, drum roll,
somewhat correct.
No, it's the same conditions all the way through.
No. That's not accurate. I know with Hertl, when they announced it, they said they said it's an 8-year deal, and for like the first 2 years, it's like a 3-year no trade, and then after 3 years, it's a 10-team no trade, and then for the last 3 seasons, it's like anybody can get in.
No, Couture's is a 3-team
Hertl,
list all the way.
Hertl.
Oh, you said Couture at first.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my
No, you're
bad
okay.
then. No,
No,
I
you're
meant
good.
Hurdle. I meant Hurdle.
Yeah. So Hurdle next season is the last year that Hurdle has a full no move clause, and then after next year, it's a 3-team trade list for 3 seasons, and then the final 2 seasons of that deal, it's a 15 yes list.
Yeah.
And I think Kevin might have made a similar point where it was like, Hurdle's no move clause is going to open up to a no trade clause right around the time the Sharks might want to trade him.
Yeah. That's it. So that you can sit there and go, okay, Joe Will, might have made a good pull there. But either way, my point being is that, you've got these quote unquote fans that are just, I don't know, wallowing in ignorance. Like they're not looking at the big picture. And it just, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to sit there and go full fucking spray and give me the silencer. I'm going to fucking delete all these people now. But it's just, come on, man. Open your eyes a little bit to what's going on. It's, oh, Jesus, fuck. And you know what are you going to blame Dave? Here's the whole thing. Are you going to blame Quinn for the fact that between 2013 and 2019, when Quinn was no fucking where to be found with the Sharks, between 2013 and 2019, the Sharks drafted 45 players. Only 2 of those 45 players drafted by the Sharks are still with the franchise, and one of them a week ago we all thought was waived for 30 minutes. So it's if you want to throw a pink slip at somebody, you can throw it to the scouting or the drafting department. I don't understand how the fuck people are saying, oh, it's Quinn. And again, not to be a dick, but it's if you're blaming Quinn for the downfall of the team where they're at right now, you're a fucking ignorant moron. You're not paying attention. And again, I'm not trying to be a dick, but you need to learn some shit. This is that, and it's that whole idea. Well, let's just, the team isn't doing well. Let's blame the coach. Let's not blame the previous general manager that, gave this coach fuck all to work with. I'm sorry. I'll get off my soapbox now. Go ahead. Finish it up.
If I was David Quinn,
I'd fucking, dude.
If I was
Irish
David
exit,
Quinn,
dude, I'd be out of here.
if I was David Quinn, I would have simply not told Joe Pavelski, Jonas Donskoy, and Gus Nyquist to sign elsewhere in 2019. Because if the people on Facebook want to say that everything is David Quinn's fault, then he shouldn't have told them to not re-sign here, right?
Hello.
Clearly. I mean, here's the thing. AJ, let me give you some advice.
Oh, we got advice up in here. Let me see. His advice, I'm going to say it's 4 words. Cancel your Facebook account.
No, that's not advice. That's just a good business practice. No, Actually, it's not even advice. It's more of a motto to live by. You know what kind of people argue with stupid people? Other stupid people.
Yes. No.
You know how far that's gotten me in life? I see I see you see all kinds of dumb shit every day, and it's well, this person's clearly an idiot, and I'm an idiot if I engage, so I'm just not gonna.
Well, dude, yeah, I see that stuff, and I'm like,
I get your pain though, because
it's
annoying.
It's willing, it's a willing ignorance. Somebody posts something really ignorant, and you'll get 20 people to fucking, jump on the bandwagon. It's yes, that is. I can't believe the Sharks are doing that. And then meanwhile, you go, the Sharks aren't doing that. You're listening to a fucking moron who doesn't know what he's talking about. That's the thing that just drives me insane. I don't know. Like I've lost my will to live on Facebook because I used to be, I used to be the guy, at least I tried to be. I so tried to be the fucking guy that I would see somebody sharing misinformation and I would comment and go, actually, what you're saying is inaccurate. And here is, here's an article that illustrates why what you've just said is not correct or this or blah, blah, blah. And the problem is the vast majority of them, when you point out that they're sharing misinformation. So, oh, well, when I heard about it, that it sounded right. And I'm like, oh, my fucking God. It's just... Dude, just fucking delete the post. It's inaccurate. I've just shown you. It's wrong. Just fucking delete it. Oh, no. Everybody, if they look at it, they'll see what I said, but then they'll see your post that says that it's inaccurate. And I'm like, who the fuck is looking at all the comments? And I'm like, yeah, they're going to drill that. You've posted some shit that is wildly hyperbolic. It's going to gain 40, 50 fucking comments going, oh my God, this is so stupid and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, none of it is remotely accurate. And you think that somebody is going to drill down to the 50th comment where AJ comes along and goes, yeah, the thing you guys have been arguing about for the last day didn't happen. It's like, no, they're not going to do that. Just fucking delete it. Don't be a dick. Hey! Hey! I'm telling you. Dude, it's literally one of the things that just drives me batshit fucking crazy when I see all of this sharing of misinformation and when people are literally handed correct information, they try to walk it back in some bizarre shape or form. Like they can't admit that they got duped. And it's like, dude, nobody's perfect. If they were, they would live in Vegas and they'd be winning bets every day. Like
not everybody can be like me.
Yeah. And it's like, and let's be honest, social media, dude, you don't even have to fucking own it. You just go in there and hit delete and it's all gone. Douchebags. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about, empty venues. Dude, the game that the Sharks played against Florida, holy fuck. Man, there's a lot of empty seats. And, we mentioned last week there was a new ad campaign for the Sharks. It's time to return to the tank, which, sounds like you're admitting that there's nobody at the tank. But I can respect that because at least you're being honest and because we have eyes. So I can respect that. But Steve, Adam, and Jesse last week on SDP got into ticket prices and made some points that I think we've been making for a while, including last week. Fans don't have the disposable income they used to. Venues keep raising prices on everything, and then they can't figure out why people aren't showing up. And look, if you got something to see, people are going to figure out a way to spend some money. Taylor Swift tickets for selling for tidy ransoms. People were figuring out a way to go to that. So do we need more honesty and transparency between teams and their fans? Like, hey, look, man, we had a great run for 2 decades, baby. During that time, we kept raising the prices on you. In 2000, average ticket for a Sharks game was $32. Now it's $84. Parking back in the day, $10. Now it's $30. A beer was $8. Now it's $16. But the bill has come due for all of those winning seasons. And, time for the rebuild. Embrace it. And so at that point, do they need to roll back prices? Because the last time I looked, there are only 230 people on the planet that have more money than Hasso Plattner. If he has to roll back prices 20-30%, is it really going to change his quality of life? I don't think so.
Well, I think I don't disagree with any of you thing you said, but I think the problem is that, why would you give everything a 30% haircut when
Because your team is 30% worse?
Right, but when the good times are rolling, like, here's the thing, and I fully acknowledge that maybe this doesn't apply to a lot of people, but I think this would apply to, maybe it applies to half, maybe a little more than half, but I'm willing to bet that buying that $18 Coors Light is a lot easier when the Sharks are good. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it is. But how much of it is a kick in the balls when they suck?
Right, exactly.
Like last season, they won 8 fucking home games.
And to the point that you've made many times over is the way that even with the Google and all that, and BART and all that bullshit, the amount of options surrounding the tank, it kind of, it's going to push things in a position to where, like, the Sharks might not have a choice. You know what I mean? Like, if you talk about all the time, if you want to get some really good beer, go to Whole Foods. Hey, if you want a quick bite, like, something that you could eat while you're walking, well, you go downtown, there's a Taco Bell, or you can go to the Coleman Shopping Center and you can hit up Panda Express or Carl's Jr. If you want something quick. If you want to sit down and have something a bit nicer, go to BJ's.
But it's not even a
go
Sharks,
to the Brit.
But it's not a Shark specific thing. I mean,
But what I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make in all of this is that the options around the tank have always been better than the options in the tank. And so
good point.
I think eventually the Sharks are going to be forced into a position where they have to do something. And, like, to their credit, since these things have been brought to their attention, they've done a very good job at bringing in more diverse options and more interesting options. The only problem is it's that price point. Like, you to your point, you wonder why people aren't showing up. Hey, it's because the prices are fucked. But at the same time, they're not going to lower prices because they know that one day people will pay them and just deal with it, whether they like it or not.
Well, and see, but that's my whole thing. It's like, look, you want to charge those prices, charge them. Whether it's a Taylor Swift concert, it's a hockey game, it's a football game, but you want to charge those ridiculous prices, charge them. And if people are willing to pay them, they're going to. But my point is, when you get to a point like where the Sharks are right now, and I'm just using the Sharks as an example, when you get a team that is not doing well, isn't projected to do well, I don't want to hear any fucking whining. I don't understand where people, I see that shit on the Sharks Facebook page. It's like, I don't understand why fans aren't at the building. Why aren't they still selling out games? Because they've been fucking priced out, and the product right now is not the most exciting thing to view. It's like nobody that when did they win the President's Trophy? What was that? 09?
Yeah, 08-09 season.
Yeah, like right in that time frame between like 07, 08, 09, 02. Dude, I mean, they were on a great streak. Not once did I hear anybody go, "Oh my God, the Sharks are doing so good. I want to pay more for beer." I want to pay more for my ticket because the Sharks are doing so good. So when I hear that shit, it's like, I don't understand why people aren't there. Shut the fuck up. And then the other thing to consider, of course, they the Sharks did that whole thing around the first 2 or 3 rows around the glass that would get you access to their lounge. First BMW lounge, now Sharks lounge or whatever. But maybe you need to like open that shit up a little bit and say, hey, you know what? There's some fans that are like, the corporate douches. Let's be honest. Corporate douches are like, oh, I'm just here to be seen and like rub elbows with muckety mucks and blah, blah, and go in there. Yeah. But maybe open up some of those seats to like the people that they don't give a shit about included food and bev. They don't, they don't give a damn about rubbing elbows with anybody. They're like, no, I'm a huge hockey fan. I would like to sit within a couple rows of the glass. And let's go back to the days when like glass seats were $180. Offer that option. where it's like, make all of those seats still $180 or whatever they used to be. But if you want to do that add-on where you get access to the lounge and the food and the bev and the parking, that's all inclusive, which, let's be honest, you're paying $400 for the seat. It's not all inclusive. You're paying for it. But, like, I don't know. Appeal to that blue-collar fan, baby. That's what hockey's all about. All that being said, though, look, the Sharks suck. That's fine. That's what's going to happen. But, you know, if you don't love these 2020 or these 23-24 Sharks, then you don't deserve the 15-16 Sharks. You know, it's just kind of it's a case of, look, if you don't like them when they're at their worst, then we don't want to hear you talking about them when they're at their best. We've been here. Have you heard of this player, Jerk? I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Joe Thornton? Is that what his name is?
I couldn't tell you. Never actually heard of him. I only became a Sharks fan last week.
I think his name is Joe Thornton. He used to play for the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, and the Panthers. Either way, he decided to call it a career earlier this week, posting out a video that literally could have probably been added to his OnlyFans account because it was topless. But evidently, Joe Thornton has finally decided to file the paperwork and retire. Some have said, many people are saying, the Sharks will not do any ceremony for Jumbo this season because he's just now announced that. Let's see how that plays out, because it's not like the Sharks don't have a history of springing news at the last minute. And we don't know when, you know, Jumbo told the Jumbo may have told the Sharks that, oh yeah, I'm retired. Like, that's why I'm hanging out around the CUDA and around the Sharks and I'm wearing a suit and a tie and blah, blah, blah. Jumbo may have come to peace with this 5, 6, 7 months ago. It's just that he's finally made it official. Even in his video, he was like, a lot of people are asking me, you know, have you retired? I thought you guys would have figured it out by now, but yeah, I'm retired. So for the people that are saying, oh yeah, they're probably not going to do anything this season, I'm just saying, the Sharks have a history of, like, I don't know, keeping shit close to the vest. We'll see what happens. Maybe there will be something this season. Jerk, I have to ask you a question, and this was something that was going around on our DMs. Martin Jones, if I remember correctly, is this the final year of him making the big money, and then after this year it goes 1.6, 1.6, 1.6?
Yes, correct.
Okay, if, you know, he has been relegated to the Marlies in Toronto, he's clearly not going to get a look. If Chief decides that after the end of this season or before the season ends, if Jones says, okay, clearly I'm not going to get a look, I'm done. If Chief files the paperwork, are the Sharks still, I would totally agree. The Sharks still have to pay him out what is left in the buyout. But if he fucking pulls the ripcord on the retirement, are the Sharks still on the hook for the 1.6 cap wise, or does that free up their space? Because that's huge.
No, they would be on the hook for it because it's guaranteed money that's owed to him.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the Sharks would still have to pay him. But
yes, and it would still count against the salary cap
over those same 3 years.
Yes.
Oh, because I thought that Lacey posted something different in the DMs. Or did I read it incorrectly? Because it looked as if a player files the retirement paperwork. It's like, you'll still get the money, but all of a sudden you get cap relief if you're the team that is still on the hook for multiple seasons.
Yeah. Well,
Is this something that we need to bring up next week?
No, you know what? You're right. I was getting it confused with like when guys who are on retained salary, like when they get bought out.
Okay.
Because so a prime example is Oliver Ekman-Larsson was bought out by the Canucks this past summer. So obviously the Canucks get a buyout penalty for buying out Oliver Ekman-Larsson, but the retained salary penalty that the Arizona Coyotes were dealing with also shrinks down at the same rate that the Canucks buyout penalty would be. And then there was also a situation where, when Luongo retired, the Canucks and the Panthers, they had cap penalties because of the age he was when he signed his contract. But
gotcha.
So yeah, I was confusing it, but you're right that number would drop off. But again, let me pose this question for you.
Oh, dude, pose it.
If I said to you,
Say
hey, if I said to you, hey AJ, we are going to pay you, me and my
stipends,
me and my organization here, we are going to pay you $7.5 million over the next 4 years, and all you have to do is not file retirement papers. Why would you?
Of course I would not.
He could not sign another contract and go dick off somewhere else for 4 years.
Sure.
But hey, don't file those papers and you're still not retired.
Hell yeah.
So.
All right. So let's get back to the point. So if Martin Jones retires this season, are the Sharks going to recoup that 1.6 over the next 3 years?
Based on that understanding, he would, yes.
That's fucking awesome.
But I think that thinking that's going to happen, like I think you'd be more likely to meet Santa Claus. To be honest with you,
don't think that Jones is like ready to hang him up, dude? Like he's barely hanging on. Well, I'm just saying he's barely okay. I get this. He's barely hanging on with the Marlies. So
he's got a job. Why would he stop?
Okay. So let's just say the Marlies say, okay, yeah, we have other pieces in the pipeline. We don't have room for you. They cut him loose. He still has 2 more seasons. So what? He's just gonna. Is it the case that the Sharks can't recoup any of that if he files, if he doesn't file the paperwork? Like he can literally sit on his couch for the next 3 years. Is that what it is? Like you would think there would be something in that agreement that says, okay, he has to play hockey for at least some sort of professional league in order for us to still pay him, or not pay him. He earned his money, but for it to count against the cap.
No, because the thing, even if you're not signed to a contract, if you're not officially retired, you're always technically considered available to play or available to sign.
Jesus God. It feels like Toronto probably has a Zamboni driver that can get that.
I mean, the best example of this, would be Christian Ehrhoff. One of your favorite defensemen.
Oh, yeah.
He was bought out. He was bought out by the Buffalo Sabres in the summer of 2014, and he's set to get paid by them until the summer of 2028.
Well, I was going to say, until I die.
Right. And so he, after he was bought out in 2014, he played 2 more NHL seasons, and then he went to play for Germany, and he played in the Olympics, and then he didn't play for 5 seasons, and then only this year he came back, and he's playing in Germany's second-tier league. But even though he didn't play for 5 years, he was still skating. He was still technically available to play, because he didn't file the paperwork.
Christ almighty.
And he did come. He's back. He's playing. So
all right. Let's move on to the NHL at large. League source confirmed the ban on Pride tape for NHL players has been rescinded. So that lasted all of 2 weeks. I mean, dude, negative PR for 2 weeks to open up the season. What a waste. Like, I don't even get that. Like, explain to me why that was even a problem.
Well, in true NHL fashion, they have, their finger is nowhere near the pulse of what's going on with their fans. And so, they thought that they were eliminating a distraction, but they in turn created a bigger distraction and with a stupid decision.
How many players are there in the NHL?
Somewhere between 750 and 800.
Yeah. And so they were kowtowing to like the what?
To
the
10? Not even 10. It's like 4.
Yeah. So well, no, it was like the Twins, Reimer. I think there was like 7 or 8. It was no more than 10. I will say that. But it was, dude. Can we start like grooming another NHL commissioner already, please? Like 30 years, that's long enough, dude. Like, can we get term limits like we should have in politics? It just drives me crazy. The Frozen Frenzy last Tuesday. What'd you think about that, dude? Did you partake with every game, starting like within 15 minutes?
I partook as much as I could. I thought it was a really cool idea. Like, I thought it's something that should have been done
like 10 years ago.
I think it's really cool. I definitely think it's a choice to do it on a Tuesday.
Dude, on a Tuesday, on NBA's opening night, on the night that Major League Baseball has a Game 7. Now, to be fair, Major League Game 7, Major League Baseball having a Game 7 that night, that's not something you could predict when you were putting that shit together. But NBA's opening night, oh, dude, that was well known, and you still decided to go, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's go.
If you ask me, that should be the setup every Saturday.
Frenzy? Frozen Frenzy? Mm-hmm. I completely agree with you.
And during the playoffs.
Oh, hell yeah. But I thought Frozen Frenzy was, it was a fun idea, having all the staggered starts and everything like that. Anybody that's in the chat right now, for the 80-something, people that are with us right now, did you like Frozen Frenzy? I got a kick out of it. But you know what I would get a bigger kick out of? I would take this idea over Frozen Frenzy. I want a secondary audio option. That's what I want. I want the option where, for those of us who watch shows on TV, sometimes they have that little button where you hit it and it says secondary audio option. Generally, it's for the people who speak Spanish. And so that's awesome. And so they can watch American shows, but that has a Spanish, what is it?
Dub.
Yeah, Spanish dub. You have people going through the show, explaining it essentially in Spanish. My whole thing, I want NHL games. I want to be able to pay money where I can say, you know what? I want to watch this game. I don't want to hear the play-by-play. I don't want to hear the color guy. You know what I want to hear? I just want to hear the microphones that are attached to the glass that are focused on the ice. I want to hear the microphones that are on the referees, if there are any players that are on there, any of that stuff. That's what I want to hear. And I would pay good money for that. And you know what? Stuff like that would lead to family-friendly moments such as this.
Thinking about going, over comes Johnson.
You're getting the fucking power play, you're getting the power play. Get the fuck out of here.
No, he was right there.
I love that. You're getting a fucking power play. You're getting a power play, but get the fuck out of here. Dude, tell me you don't get a kick out of that when you're watching a game and you hear the quote unquote, obscene language.
Yeah, I definitely think
it just it lends a little bit of reality to it.
Yeah, I mean, people love they love seeing how the sausage is made. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I think anything that can kind of open up the intrigue like that, I think people would really eat it up.
Dude, not only that, but Pavelski dealing in a game this past week against the Penguins. Wes McCauley. Let's be honest. Wes McCauley, come on. This is the guy who's like, you got 5 minutes for fighting. Like he's the guy when he makes that call. He puts a little extra oomph into the call, and God love him for it. But let's talk about this for a second.
On the forecheck, Niello. Couldn't come up with it. Hockenpot does.
I owe you a beer.
Passing for Johnson.
Dude, Wes McCauley out there. I owe you a beer. Do you remember like a week and a half ago when like D'Angelo like got fucking screened by an official, ended up like getting a 10-minute misconduct because he like lost his shit? Meanwhile, Pavelski runs into the official and it's like, and the official goes, "Oh, hey, I owe you a beer." Like, what a fucking difference between Pavelski and D'Angelo, dude.
Right.
I mean, Jesus. Speaking of Pavelski, though, he did get his 1,000th NHL point this past week, which, of course, would spark the great debate. What jersey does Pavelski decide to retire in? And I think it's a good debate only because he's not playing on a team that sucks. He's playing on a team that some people are saying, or, many people are saying, could get to the Cup this season. If Pavelski wins, just say, hyperbolically, hyperbole, all of that. If Pavelski won the Cup with Dallas this year, what jersey do you think he's retiring in? Taking into the history, everything. I got to say, dude, if I'm Pavelski, I hate to say it, I'm retiring in a Stars jersey. I hate to say it.
I don't know. I don't think so.
You think he would go Sharks?
Well, yeah, it's the team that's drafted him. He spent a majority of his career there. He's much more ingrained with this team than he's a big part of Dallas, but he's not like
But
he's not a franchise icon in Dallas the way that he is here.
I would totally agree with you, but then I also wonder, and this is just me throwing it out there, does Pavelski hold any ill will of not getting that third year on the deal that he wanted and just saying, no, this is the whole thing. If he finishes his career in Dallas, does not win the Cup, then I would agree with you. I go, he'll probably retire as a Shark. If he wins the Cup in Dallas, I would bet money he retires as a Star. And again, I think part of that is, it's like 1,000 point as a Star, winning the Cup as a Star, and the Stars gave him that contract that he wanted. And for whatever reason, Doug Wilson said, balked at that third year.
Well, if he does have any ill will towards the Sharks at this point, I think he needs to get over it because because the people that he would theoretically have this ill will towards are no longer here.
Yeah, but it could be an org thing. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. It's something to put a pin in. A message to the Edmonton Oilers fans. I know you guys are sweating a slow start, but you guys are going to play the Sharks in 2 weeks, so that'll probably turn things around. Tweet of the week. Oh, man. Tweet of the week. This is a good one. We got a twofer. Fanatics sucks. We know that. And so evidently, you can see the Chief here in the photo. They ordered a Florida Panthers long sleeve shirt and somehow ended up with a Carolina Panthers sweatshirt. Welcome to Fanatics. That's all I'm saying. Then on top of that, over this past week, evidently Drake, the rapper, is part of a, I don't know, some sort of apparel company called OVO, who have put out a line of jackets, sweatshirts, and hoodies. The jacket's only going to cost you $700. I mean, who doesn't have $700, laying in their back pocket? Who doesn't want below $700 on a jacket that's not even leather? And then, what? The jacket's too much. I'll just go with a hoodie. Oh, no. No, the hoodie's going to be $200. A sweatshirt, a fucking sweatshirt. Look at this. $167 for a fucking jerk. Have you ever spent more than $30 on a sweatshirt?
I'm surprised you think I've ever bought a sweatshirt in my life.
Okay. Well, I mean, have you ever lived in an area where it gets a little cold?
No, I'm not somebody who gets cold.
But are you fucking kidding me with these prices? Dude, a sweatshirt for $167. The only thing that's different from a regular sweatshirt, they just stitched a goddamn logo on the front. Are you fucking kidding? Where are you buying your sweatshirts at?
I don't wear sweatshirts because I don't get cold.
There you go. And then Red Wings, the last time I looked, look in the upper right-hand corner of the descriptions. Detroit Red Wings. 3 separate words. Look at the engraving on the jacket. Detroit Red Wings. All one, or Red Wings, all one word somehow. Not 2 words, just one. So I think my point is Drake and Fanatics can go fuck themselves. I think that's where we're at. So, yeah, just wanted to share that with you. So, oh, fuck. I look at it. There's another team.
Ooh, Barracuda.
So the Barracuda played 3 this week. They went, Jesus Christ, it was 0-3-0, right? It was like they lost on Wednesday to Henderson and then got fucking ass raped 8-2 yesterday. And then was it an overtime today or was it just before overtime?
I know they were leading.
Yeah, they were leading at one point and then they gave it up. Either way, something to be concerned about. The times that the CUDA have lost.
It was a regulation loss.
See, there you go. Dude, that's something to be, just like the Sharks. Be concerned about having the lead and not being able to finish it off. Just like the Sharks. So follow Teal Town USA. Ian Reed, of course, on the Tweety, the XE, whatever you want to call it. Ian Reed is going to have you down. If you're interested in that CUDA stuff, he's going to throw those tweets out there that have live GIFs of all the scoring plays and everything. And let's be honest, Ian has some pretty solid, shall we say, hot takes. He has something to say. So let's move into prize time, dude. What was last week? Well, it was combined save percentage, yes?
That's the
winner for last week, right?
No, combined save percentages is that's the prize that we're giving out tonight. So I guess it would be for the games we just talked about.
Yeah. So for the 4 games this week, and what was it? It was the 3 for Blackwood, 1 for Kakkonen?
Yeah, technically, yes. 3 starts for Blackwood and 1 start for Kakkonen, but Kakkonen did
he got
appear
yanked
in 2 games.
Yeah.
So, and Kakkonen's numbers in relief of Blackwood do count, just so everybody's in the know.
Yeah, absolutely. So combined save percentage on the week. You guys want to win that prize. I mean, hold on. Here, I got your drum roll. All right. What's the drum roll, dude? What is the name of the person who won the prize this week?
So,
or the email or whatever. I mean, we don't want to call anybody out. No government names.
the combined save percentage for this week, 4 games, 3 starts for Blackwood, 1 start for Kakinen, plus a relief appearance for Kakinen. The combined save percentage for this week was, if you can believe it, .913.
Dude, this is all I'm saying, man. Like, they're getting league average goaltending, and they suck. Like, imagine if they got this goaltending last year.
913 is higher than league average. league average
Was it 910?
It was 910 for the longest time, and then since goal scoring has increased the last 3 years, league average goaltending is now like 907.
Oh, Jesus.
913 save percentage this week. The winner, who, by the way, this was the highest guess as well, so kudos to you. The winner was, and I'm gonna say their name only because it's how they signed their email to me. Brandon Workman.
Love it.
You are our big winner. They said 908 save percentage.
Nice.
Which, again, the highest guess among the 16 that we got. And it was the closest, obviously.
All right. Awesome. So,
and this is the mystery prize pack in case anybody forgot.
So, Brandon, congratulations. Again, we do this every Sunday for the entire season that we're here for the
or until we run out of stuff.
No, we're not running out of anything. Let me let you know.
Yeah, that's a trick. That's a trick point.
So, congratulations to you, Brandon. We have another one to open up for this coming week. Unfortunately, the Sharks only played 2 games. Vancouver on Thursday. I'm sorry, I totally mispronounced that. The Canucks, because we don't need Puck Guy coming in here saying, did someone say? So they play the Canucks, but next Saturday, your favorite defenseman and my most hated defenseman, Erik Karlsson, returns with the Pittsburgh Penguins next Saturday. So only 2 games this week. So it's gonna be difficult. Your answers must be submitted this coming week. So if it's a Thursday game, probably gonna start stuff. So 4:00 Thursday. Does that sound good to you, sir?
Yep, that's fine. And just in case anybody's wondering, Thursday is November 2nd.
There you go. Thursday, November 2nd, 4:00 Pacific. Answers have to be in to be entered into the weekly giveaway. And this coming week, the question is, and we're only going to do, we only do multiple winners for specialties. This one, it's going to be one only. And if we have multiple winners, unfortunately, we're going to have to throw your names in a hat and blah, blah, blah. Shots on goal. This coming week, the Sharks play Vancouver and Pittsburgh. How many shots on goal over those 2 games will the Sharks tally? Enter now. hockeyjerk10@gmail.com. You can also, do you take Twitter entries as well?
Yep, Twitter or email, whatever works.
There you go. So email hockeyjerk10@gmail.com. On Twitter, if you don't enjoy email for whatever reason, hockey_jerk. That's how you can hit them up. But that's your entry. Entries must be here November 2nd, 4:00. There you go. And again, total shots on goal you think the Sharks will have over 2 games against Vancouver and Pittsburgh. You might get a bobblehead. You might get a lunchbox. You might get a jersey. We don't know. It's all going to be fun. So there you go. Moving on to the bets. Sir, would you care to win a bet against me?
I don't need to win a bet against you because I'm winning my bets that have real money on the line.
Whoa. Have we not been betting real money?
No, I'm just messing with you.
I was going to say, dude. Okay, so EK You lost that one. He should have been in teal. You lost that. Cunnin, you said would score. He did not. And then you said you set the over under at 2.5 and took the over. I took the under. And like we talked about last week, I said, do you want to reconfigure that to 2.5 points? And you're like, you giggled, but if you had still taken the over, you would have lost on that. So you owe me $15 right now, sir. And again, we could come to January and you're like, okay, this week, Leabank's going to have 3 points. And I'm going to go, what? And motherfucker will pull a hat trick. We don't know.
Just because I owe you $15, like, that could change. It
could.
It's a net situation.
It's a net, but can we both agree that you owe me $15?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I signed my name on the dotted line, and that's fine. I'm a man of integrity here.
There you go. I still think that I'm going to win the attendance the attendance bet before the end of the year. I might win the attendance bet before Thanksgiving, but we'll see what happens. So
here's the thing. Here's what I said at the top of the show. What I said at the top of the show is, I might lose a bunch of bets,
sure.
but I will never make a stupid bet.
Dude, the bets that you made, those very easily could have paid off. Like,
right.
EK could have been here. We don't know. Cunnin, I mean, dude, Jewels had your back, dude. She thought that I was going to lose that. And then, okay, no. So this week, okay, that one I might have to fuck with you a little bit. But no, I think you had it. So coming up this week, oh my God, the month of Sucktober is going to be in the rear view, thankfully. The Sharks will start November. Just 2 games until we join you again next Sunday. They're going to play the Canucks on Thursday. They're going to play the Pittsburgh Penguins and Erik Karlsson next Saturday. Of course, we're going to be back with you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific. So after putting the O in October, let's see if the Sharks can put the no in November, as in no offense, no defense, no scoring, no possession. You get the picture. So on Twitter, you can follow the Jerk Man. He's right out there for you at hockey_jerk. I'm at AJ_strong. Don't feel a need to follow me. I'm fine. Just follow Teal Town USA and we're all good. But remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave your take in the comments section of this video if you weren't able to join us live. And to the couple people, dude, Jerk Man, there are a couple people last Sunday left some very, very nice comments about us. That was
good.
Cool. Appreciate you, man. Respect that. That was very cool. I appreciate that, man, because I do a lot of work on this, and Jerk really doesn't do anything except show up, so I appreciate that.
Hey, I mean, I bring what matters most. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn. All right. He's not wrong, people. He's not wrong. So you can find links to our social media podcast apps and more included in the show notes. You can get everything on tealtownusa.com. If you want access to that VIP Discord party, again, at hockey_jerk on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, then fucking get it, because that's the only way you're going to get Hockey Jerk in line with you. Remember to check out After Dark. What?
Because I've had a couple people who have run into Puck Guy at a Sharks game and been like, hey, I don't have Twitter, but can you tell Jerk to let me in? And then Puck Guy will let me know. That's cool.
Okay, there you go.
We can make that work.
So if you're fortunate enough to run into Puck Guy, I won't do it. If you run into me, don't ask, because I don't know. But remember to check out After Dark following every single Sharks game this season. So 2 games coming up this week. Oh, boy, Vancouver and Pittsburgh. I mean, what are you thinking? I mean, fucking 0-10 and 11?
I think they'll win one and lose one. I'm not going to say which ones.
Yeah, but dude, the law of averages has bitten you in the dick the last 2 weeks. Like, you're really going to pull that off?
Hey, man,
Stranger things have happened.
I'm just saying, it's like I said, I don't make I might make incorrect bets, but I don't make stupid bets.
Oh, Cali cruising. Just followed Jerk. That's the way to play it, maybe. So Vancouver and Pittsburgh. So what, you're saying you think the Sharks will beat Vancouver then?
I'm not saying who. You'll have to find out next week.
You think they just both go to OT?
No, here's what's going to happen. You'll find out next week.
There are 4 possible points to get. You're saying the Sharks are going to get 2 of them?
At least 2.
And, of course, the thing I want to ask you is, can we put some scratch on that?
No.
Oh, you've gotten tired of me taking your money and pushing you in your locker?
No, see, I just don't, here's the thing. Like,
oh, there's the thing.
Well, because, if I take this bet and when I win, like, Puck just whipped up these brand new graphics for us.
When did Puck Guy get involved in this? It's between me and you, Chief.
Puck Guy whipped up these nice new graphics for us, and if I win this bet, if I were to take it, he's gonna have to whip up new graphics with a smaller box because your head will have shrunk.
Oh! Then take the bet, my friend.
Yeah, we have till Thursday. I'll let you know.
So, no. It's got to be on the air, bro.
Hey, you know what? My voice appears in more places than here.
No. The Sharks have the opportunity to pick up 4 points this week.
Okay, and what's your point?
Okay, so I will put money they pick up 1 or less.
Okay, I'll say 2 or more.
You'll say 2 or more.
Yeah.
Crispy Finn?
Sure.
There we go. All right, we got another bet. So this is another thing. Besides giving out awesome prizes all the season, you can sit there and keep tallies with us that all the bets that Jerkman and I are going to place. Sound good?
Sure.
All right. So thank you so much for spending your Sunday and yet another Sunday evening. Happy Halloween to everybody. And next Sunday, I will just say adjust your clocks correctly because we don't want to come on an hour earlier or an hour later. Adjust your clocks.
I'd love to come on an hour earlier.
Oh, dude, I would love that. In fact, I think, aren't we going to because it falls back?
Well, that's more of a body clock thing as opposed to a...
That's true. That's true. Yeah, so we're not going to be on at 6, to the dismay of Hockey Jerk. We will not be on at 6 this week, but we shall be on 7 Pacific. Adjust your clocks correctly. Happy Halloween to everybody. And before we get out of here, Halloween, I got to ask you, Jerkman.
Yes.
Your favorite all-time Halloween candy?
Well, what's your
go-to, dude?
Let me get some clarification here because this is a debate.
All right, single Reese's. Like, you're not getting the whole fucking 4-stack thing.
So that's my question. Because I know some people don't. Do you
some do the single Reese that is like this big, or they do like the little tiny Reese. You know what I mean?
No, but what I'm saying is, do you consider chocolate to be candy? That's my question.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, okay. Hold on. Before we get there, John sliding in with the super chat. Dude, I love John. He's like, no. These fuckers aren't going off air until I donate. Like, I'll subsidize the bet either way. Hell yeah, John.
Also, shout out to John, obviously for the donation. Thank you so much. But also, shout out to John because they are consistently the first entry in our weekly contest.
Not really? He like hit you up on the email like uber quick?
Dude, I literally, as you were talking, I opened my email and I already had one from him.
John, I'm just saying, dude, we might just need to like send you something as like, even if you don't win, like you're consistently here, you consistently bring awesome donations on the chat and everything, and you're just like obviously just super cool human being. We're just gonna have to like get you, dude. The next time you enter a contest, send Jerk your postal information so we can just send you something. Anyway, Halloween candy. Before we get out of here,
really quick. So I want to. Somebody in the chat is saying, wasn't this week's save percentage 896? So somebody's bringing that to the attention, and we're going to do a forensic audit here.
Hold on, where is this? I'm looking for it. I don't see this.
Second to last.
Mark.
And I believe the confusion here, and I'm going to double check. If I'm wrong, I'm going to look like
run those numbers, baby.
But I believe where the confusion is they might not be including Kakkonen's save percentage in relief of Blackwood.
Okay.
That might be the confusion. I'm going to double check, of course.
I was going to say, if you're playing the game to win prizes, let you know, Jerk knows how to run his numbers. Big time.
So and you know, if I'm wrong, I will eat that. No problem.
Yeah.
I have no problem eating
and
that.
And if you fucked up, we'll send multiple prizes to multiple people. That's the way we roll it here.
Yeah, fear not. You know, if I ended up being wrong, like Brandon, you will still get something, so don't worry about it.
Brandon and who was this? Mark?
Well, if there is a different winner, whoever it is. Just
you know what? Well, we don't want to bore you.
No, dude. I'm literally almost done. Just wait.
I don't want to bore anybody with like we can bring it up next week, but
no. We're gonna do this now.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that,
No, don't go anywhere. I'm
I'm not going anywhere.
Can
I talk about my favorite Halloween candy?
Yeah. Sure. I didn't say mine. It was peanut butter cups. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. It's the those little fucking golden wrapped. Of course, it's the Reese's peanut butter. You know those little. Oh my god! Something about chocolate and peanut butter.
I do have to. Okay. Mark Mantis is correct. There was a accounting error on my part.
Ruh-roh.
Counting error on my part. 896 is the correct number. My apologies, friends. Happens.
Oh, dude, but respect to Mark for calling you out and getting the number right, dude. That's awesome.
Love that. That's all good.
Dude, that's what hey, you know what? On this podcast, facts matter.
Yeah, they do. And so shout out to Mark Mantis. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention.
Dude, that's awesome, dude.
I fucked up the math somewhere. It happens.
Dude, all the other prizes we've given out, they fucked up.
So obviously Brandon Workman will work. You know, you're still going to get something. You're the,
sir.
You're the uncrowned winner. It's okay.
Yes.
The real winner. And I know this person is going to be really happy that they're the winner because they told me as much.
Is it Jessica?
It's our buddy Jerry F.
Who?
Jerry.
Jerry F. down in SoCal. Hell yeah.
He said to me in his email, you know, I really want to win something for my son.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So the fact that it ended up being Jerry F. Shout out to Mark Mantis for the accounting correction and for helping out Jerry's son.
Hell yeah, dude. Good looking out, man. Good, Mark. Thank you. That is so cool.
I realize I've been saying Mark Mantis and it's Mark Mantia, but hey, I'm sorry, but Mark Mantis might be a good like superhero or wrestler names. You might need to think about that.
Dude, wear the belt.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, that's so awesome. All right. So for me, it's the Reese's. That's numero uno, dude. Reese, those little tiny gold things. Second in line. What's second in line for you? If that's your number one, what's second in line? I might have to sit there and go, like the little fun size Snickers. I do like me a Snickers. What are you thinking? Like, because I think you're probably going to change my mind.
I'm I'm not super into chocolate. It's why I asked you if you consider chocolate candy. I'm not super into chocolate. Like, I
Oh
like
no,
Reese's. Like Reese's are number one by and large. But then beyond that, it's like Kit Kat, and then I'm not really into any other kind of chocolate.
See,
But
I'm not a big Kit Kat fan, but my wife, she loves Kit Kats.
So I like Kit Kats. I also think
Everybody that's watching, we're about to sign off on the cast, but there's like 70 people. Do me a favor. Throw in your like if you're walking around your neighborhood with the pillow, the pillow bag and everything. What are you looking? If you say raisins, just stop watching this podcast. Stop. But you're walking around with that pillowcase. What are you totally fucking juiced up? You see somebody drop that in, you're like, hell yeah.
it's Reese's, dude.
Dude, that's my whole thing. Dude, and it's, you know what? I got to say, whether it's the little Reese's cups, the big fatties, or even if it's Reese's Pieces.
I'm not a fan of the Pieces.
Oh, dude, I love me some peanut butter chocolate. I don't care what form it's in.
The thing is, like, the candy, aside from peanut butter cups and Kit Kats, the candy that I really like is candy that, like, I don't know about anybody else, but like my parents were really strict when it came to Halloween candy. Like everything was fucking put through like TSA security check.
Well, dude, right here,
like
Twanskoy, full-size Snickers.
See, I don't like Snickers bars.
Oh, I see. I like some Snickers.
I told you,
Shark's Last, dude. Almond Joy. You know what? I love some chocolate and some coconut and some little almond. But I don't know what it is. I'm kind of
not so mid-major. Not so mid-major is more speaking my language on the candy. I'm like,
what was that? Oh, Sour Patch?
Yeah, dude, the watermelon Sour Patch Kids might be the best non-chocolate candy out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we got tear running. Dude, Cadbury Cream Egg. Dude, that's an Easter thing, bro.
Hey, candy is candy. No, but like
Rocky Road Bar, dude, I hate those.
I've never even heard of that. So.
Dude, it's like a chocolate covered marshmallow something. Dude, I'm just not a fan of marshmallows. Oh, dude, Hot Wheels coming in. My favorite toothbrush.
Okay, better question.
Hold on, molasses. Almond Joys are fire, and then Darius coming in hot with the fucking donation. Thank you. 3 Musketeers. I am so not a Musketeers guy. Milky Way of Musketeers. Can't do it, man. Too much
Shout out
nougat.
To Darius, super chat.
Yes, but too much nougat. Puck guy says Reese's Pieces. All right, what's your jam you're saying?
What's the weirdest? I'm not going to say candy. What's the weirdest thing you've gotten for Halloween?
I
have 2, so I'll go ahead.
I mean, I've literally gotten like a little tiny box of raisins. I thought that was a little odd. The other one that I literally got, like it was wrapped in plastic, was like 10 dimes.
Okay.
Wrapped in plastic. So both of those things, and then an apple.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that I'm sure that I got something really odd. And Jerry F, shout out, thank you. Another great show, thank you. In fact, you know what? I gotta bounce out of the screen for a minute. Can I show you guys my my Halloween costume? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, so you give us like your top 5, top 10. I have to drop the kids. No, I don't have to drop the kids at the pool, but take a leak and get my costume on. I want to hear your top 10 candies. Dude, if you say raisins, I'm going to have a problem. But I'll be right back.
So for me, I asked AJ the weirdest thing he's ever gotten. For me, like I said, I have 2, which, by the way, I want to make sure we hit this. I don't have the ability to put it on the screen, but I'm going to mention it. Jerry F, shout out for the super chat. Thanks, guys. Another great show. Thank you so much, Jerry, for the super chat. Darius, I know we mentioned it, but thank you again for the super chat. Easy enough to say. John, thank you for the super chat. Obviously, if you super chat us, that's the best way to get your message out in the open. So I asked AJ what the weirdest thing he got in Halloween was. And for me, like I said, there's two. The first one I got, this one definitely falls into the weird category. I got a like snack size or vending machine size, whatever you want to call it, like a snack size bag of Fritos, which don't get me wrong, I like Fritos, but for Halloween, it's kind of weird. And then the other weird situation, I guess maybe gross is probably a more appropriate term. I go to go knock on the door, do the whole, song and dance, trick or treat, whatever. And guy like reaches over, grabs, I'm assuming he's going to grab just a handful of candy or whatever, grabs a handful of like loose open candy corn, drops it in my bag, my pillowcase, and then licked his fingers to get the residue of the candy corn off his fingers. I guess they were sticky. He must have been eating some before we came up. And so I didn't think anything of the time other than candy corn is gross, and having strict parents, they were like, you're not eating anything that's open. But thinking about it as an adult, that guy licked his fingers after dropping the candy corn in my pillowcase. How many times did he do that before I came, and did he wash his hands, right? And so glad I didn't eat the candy corn, obviously. That, like I said, I guess that's one weird one for you, one gross one for you. I definitely also say, there's a lot of debate about what you bring with you when you go trick-or-treating. I was always a pillowcase kid, just because you could carry more items in it. And, I did hate how the pillowcases didn't have handles, but I loved being able to carry a lot more candy than what a, just standard plastic pumpkin would allow. So, yeah. Halloween was always... When I was a kid, Halloween was always one of my favorite times of year. Now as an adult, it's a little bit different. You feel more guilty eating candy, but don't think I don't have a stash here on the old desk. Looks like AJ is coming back. We're gonna get to see what this alleged costume is.
Okay, hold on. I got a cover.
AJ knows that I haven't eaten dinner, and he's still going on and on and on.
Oh, what? Oh shit. Okay, I got a cover.
Okay,
we're going to give away a prize.
Is that a vaccine card? Like,
No. We're going to give away a prize.
Okay.
I am dressed up. My Halloween costume could be considered whatever your take is. I am dressed up as potentially one of two characters from a movie. The first person I see in the comments, I don't care which name it is. If you nail it, you're going to win. All right? We ready? Jerk?
Yeah, do it.
Here we go.
Oh, I know who you are.
Just saying. Let's see. No. The character, not the fucking movie. I got the backwards cap. I got the shirt on. What the fuck? Come on, man. Let's see. I want to see a name. See, look. Everybody's sitting there like fucking dialing it up on Google and shit. They're like, what the fuck are the names of those characters? Okay, we have it. And Brett has nailed it. Dante. Nope,
nice.
Not Silent Bob. Not Silent Bob. Silent Bob never wore a fucking Quick Stop shirt. It was Dante or Randall. Those were the two names that you had. And actually, it should have been Randall, but I'll give it to you. Brett nailed it. Dante, he was in there for... Drew also had Dante, but no. Hold on. What is Nar Sushi 87? Why do you say? No. You should not win. You name the movie, not the character. See? Shark's last nose, Randall Graves. Hello. Thank you. That's all I'm looking for. But, I have the dark hair, I have the goatee. So it's a combination of Randall and Dante. So I would have taken either of those. Brett J, do me a favor. Do you have the Twitter? Do you have the Twitter, sir? If you have the Twitter, send a note to @hockey_jerk. He will hook you up. If you only have the email, hit hockeyjerk at hockeyjerk10@gmail.com. We'll take your postal information. We'll send you something. All right. So, Jesus, I think we probably could have ended the show about 20 minutes ago. Oh, listen to that. Jerk already hit the Irish exit, man. He was fucking out of here. So with that, Jerk, nothing left to say?
I'm hungry. Let's go.
Yeah, me too. Curly fries, non-curly fries.
Don't ask stupid questions. It's regular fries every time.
I don't understand why you get so upset at that.
You're telling me I can pay more for something that is worse? Like, I must be wearing clown shoes. If you think
No,
you can
dude,
trick me
it's like
that.
wait, I can pay for the Sharks when I can just watch the Barracuda?
Right.
So with that, thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday just before Halloween. Hello, Dante, Randall, what's up? All right, so we will see you next Sunday, and if I believe next Sunday we might be here at the same time, but miraculously might be an hour and a half, or an hour behind.
Could be any of them.
Well, what the time change? We don't know. I don't know. So next Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific. Hopefully you're here at the right time. You might be here an hour early, or you might be here an hour late. We're not sure. But only 2 games this week. Vancouver, Pittsburgh. And if you don't think that I'm going to have some shit to say about Erik Karlsson, you're wrong. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a fantastic Halloween. Get the candy you want. And with that, I feel like we just need to tell everybody what LeBron tells everybody.